everyone, and welcome back to the Sip and Spin YouTube channel. It is officially spooky season, so we are going to be coming at you with October spooky fall vibe videos every Tuesday. And for this first Tuesday, we are going to be playing Lake of Voices.
Yes. This game is marketed as a horror game. It's also a free horror visual novel on Steam, so whether or not it actually is spooky remains to be seen, but it is free, so if you're interested, you can go check it out because...
Oh.
Choices. Okay. So you'll need to make various decisions throughout Lake of Voices. That's like a VN. Yep. Oh, certain choices are timed. God damn it, I hate that.
This is like the one video we did like
My
years
anxiety
ago.
ramped up already.
What was the one with Will Poulter?
Little
Hope.
Little Hope.
Little Hope, yeah, when they had the timed, like you had to press triangle.
So it's got QTEs, quick time events.
No, can't.
If you survive until the second night.
Wait, so there's a chance we may not even make it past the first night?
we 100% won't.
No, if it's us two, sorry guys, this is gonna be a one night gameplay. We're gonna die.
We're so dumb. The story will branch into one of 5 different plot lines based on your earlier decisions. Okay, so that's a visual novel, right?
Yeah.
I am stressed.
I'm nervous.
But let's fucking go.
My grip on the lantern tightens as the fog around us thickens. While the forests in this area are relatively safe compared to Sinlos, I can't help but feel my hair stand on end the further we get. We? Who's with us? My free hand fingers the hilt of my sword. Oh my god, we have a sword.
Hot.
Hello. Something akin to a nervous reflex.
Have you seen it before?
Oh, voice acting is here. Suddenly voice acting.
Hello, he's beautiful.
Look at that. His hair is better than
Bamel?
mine.
Bamel, hello.
Okay, you got a lantern and...
The blue eyes, the hair. Ooh.
Bamel breaks the silence, either sensing my unease or assuaging his own. I hope it's the latter.
I haven't. I've had no reason to go near this cursed lake until now. What of you?
Is that us?
I hope that's us. She's hot.
She's so cute. Okay. It's a cursed lake.
Okay.
Right?
Oh. Well, it's a Lake of Voices.
Bamel scratches his chin casually, as though I asked what his favorite food is. Okay, so I think we are her.
Yes, that makes sense.
I traveled a long way around it once before. Not so pleasant. Something about it just frays your nerves. Although, even being near it is enough.
Okay, so we don't like this lake.
No, this lake is bad vibes. It did not pass the vibe check. So I'm not the only one who feels it. A sense of relief hits me, but not enough to undo the buzzing of anxiety. Same girl. The lake, Sinlos. Ooh. What a sound. The lake, Sinlos. Most try their best to avoid it all their lives. The hundreds who die attempting to cross its unearthly black water, dragged to death by the creatures lurking within, aren't a secret. Oh. So
No wonder you were assigned this mission.
There are few who've had first-hand experience with this place, even if from a distance. He'll probably keep being picked whenever they need someone to cross, for however long he's with us.
Is he Bamel?
I guess. Bamel shrugs, bringing my attention back to the dark path before us.
At least we're taking the bridge this time. It'll only take 2 days instead of double that, and the sooner this place is behind us, the better.
Fitting.
I almost literally, I was like...
That's the lake.
I was like, is there like a hellhound at this lake?
Hellhound in this house.
Lana sounds like a fucking hellhound sometimes, I swear to God.
It would be preferable not to risk it. But time is of the essence. We don't really have a choice.
I just wish I knew what our, like, mission was. Like,
Why are we crossing this lake?
yeah, like, why do we have to cross the lake? What are we getting to where we have to do it faster?
Why do we have a sword? Who are we?
We should always have a sword.
Who
I
is
don't need to
she?
question that.
Fair. I do have swords.
I, too, have a sword. One of our allied villages, Hemmer, is being harassed by brigaders, a band of ruffians. We don't have many guards to send as an assist, only Bamel and myself. Okay.
So there's the answer.
There's what I needed. My questions are answered. Thank you. Game. The least we can do is arrive before we are too late to be of any use. These kinds of squabbles happen often, but we have to be put down lest they turn into a blood grudge or all-out roar. The last we heard, neither option was that far off.
I can also see why they chose you to come out here.
I glance at Bamel, an eyebrow raised. A slight smile plays across his lips.
You're always so calm and so serious. Nothing can get to you. You're the best choice they had.
Thanks.
Bamel. A smile now tugs at my own lips. I would like to thank him, but that wouldn't be so calm and serious as he just described. And if that's how he sees me, I'd like to keep it that way. Yeah, girl. My lack of reaction only makes his smile grow, and he chuckles a bit before refocusing on the path. I do the same. It wouldn't be right to let my guard down in a place like this. Bamel appears to feel differently, however. Oh, Bamel.
You know the town on the other side of the lake, though. It's not so similar to ours. If all goes well, perhaps we'll have enough time to enjoy the new area.
Oh, okay.
So you want to go on a date?
For the most part, I ignore him, nodding when applicable. Bamel is a talkative sort, and chatting helps keep his worries down and his sword hand ready. I have no complaints.
Fair.
After a time, the thick fog surrounding us begins to clear. A slick wooden dock comes into view, and with it the sounds of water gently lapping at its sides.
Okay, upon looking, that dock, sus.
Yeah, that's sketch.
This is the bridge we're crossing.
Yeah, that's not a bridge. That is just a dock. And
That is just wood.
the support beams aren't even straight. Bamel shifts beside me, stretching his lantern arm as far as it will go. He seems tense.
Someone's already here.
What?
Come again.
What do you mean? What does that mean? Who's already here? Bamel.
Oh. A young
She's
woman.
cute.
She's fine. A young woman stands by the dock, eyeing us warily. Does she intend to cross tonight? Evidently, she has the same question. As we step up next to her, it's clear she isn't simply passing by. She's waiting. The stranger The stranger nods curtly to us.
Margaret.
All right.
Hello,
Keek of the
Margaret.
Steadfast.
Oh, the steadfast.
The steadfast.
We have a
Okay.
title.
I love that for us.
Bamele. Hello?
Oh, Bemele. Sorry, Mr. Bemele.
Our bad.
There's a stuffy silence. Margaret turns to gaze out across the lake, expression unclear. With not much to say, Bamele and I do the same. From here... Spooky. From here, the black surface of the lake looks disarmingly calm. Wind rushes across its surface, a sound like whispering. That checks out. Though perhaps it actually is whispering. I concentrate, trying to place the difference, searching for breaks and rhythm. After a few seconds, I feel foolish. It doesn't matter what the noise is, whether I hear them or not, we're not alone. The Nixie are out there. A feeling that I can't quite shake tells me they've already noticed the little group of people on their shores. It feels hostile. I don't like hostile. My stomach sinks, and I instead address Bamele.
Where is the guide?
Unless he's on the center island, or on the complete other side, your guess is as good as mine. It's dark as pitch out there.
Panic rises inside me. Panic I try hard to quell.
We can't cross without him, and we need to get going soon.
You can't cross with him either.
Damn, Margaret.
What does that mean?
The woman behind us, Margaret, cuts in with something like a snort.
Oh, well, I'm
What?
glad it was Margaret, not another woman.
Suddenly, a third.
I know the guide will be here tonight. I have already made arrangements with him to cross.
Okay,
Bamele
Margaret.
and I share a look. The woman seems haughty and willing to put up a fuss. Okay.
I have
So
his
she's a
word
brat.
he'll take me
Yeah.
today. It would be wiser for the two of you to begin the trip around if you're really in such a hurry. Or you can make camp here and wait for him to make the trip back if you prefer.
Okay, Margaret, you were cute.
Yeah, you were super cute, but like, I don't like your vibe.
You're less cute now.
I don't need to turn my attention to Bamele to know he's riled up. Oh.
Get riled.
Get riled up, Bamele. Go for it. I step in before he can say something rash.
Even if that is so, my companion and I must begin the trip tonight.
Also, why do you need a guide to cross a bridge? Like, I feel like
it's dangerous, I guess, is the vibe.
I feel like you would need a guide more to cross around the bridge than you would, or like around the lake than just straight across the bridge.
Well, I'm guessing the lake is hella cursed.
Probably, but you know the lake is cursed going into it. So when you cross the bridge, you just have to be prepared for cursed shit. But it's not like you're gonna get lost. It's a
Here
straight.
we go, prepare for cursed shit, guys.
It's just a straight bridge across.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe the guide is like has protections. Like we don't know what this lake does.
I don't know. But either way, Margaret's unimpressed, and she opens her mouth to argue further.
Of course she does. Is her name Margaret or Karen?
We'll wait for the guide to arrive before coming to a conclusion about any of this.
We are very
That's-
fair and logical. This is not us.
That's very reasonable. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here like, I will fight Margaret.
I fight Margaret.
She clamps her mouth shut, then lets out a sigh.
Is that like us?
You can do as you like.
Oh, they did the sigh sound effect.
Yeah.
We didn't have to come up with one.
Thanks for the permission to exist. With the matter tentatively settled, Bamele moves away. His finger begins to tap loudly against the top of his hilt. He shifts from one foot to another, then groans.
What's that bastard even up to?
I almost visibly start, but manage to restrain myself. He probably doesn't know any better. I'm sure of that. It's not worth mentioning. Huh?
With a
Because
mouth
he's-
like that, you shouldn't even have the right to ask the guide to take you
I was like, is it
across.
because he said the word bastard?
Is it okay? It must be bastard. Okay.
How ludicrous. He's faced far worse than a bit of foul language.
I guess
Yeah,
so.
especially bastard. That's not that bad of a word.
Do
It's
you
not like he
know
said a
anything
slur.
That's happened with this lake.
No, I know nothing.
No, we are completely new to this.
I know enough.
Oh, Bamele, please.
Okay, Bamele, care to educate us?
She disappears.
Oh, goodbye.
Margaret is clearly not convinced, but she shrugs and makes a show of turning her back to him.
The guide's father is Garvin the Exemplar. Garvin never accepted the guide as his son, all the way up until he died in this lake. Your statement could be seen as tasteless.
Okay.
Okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Interesting.
Oh.
That's why we don't like the word bastard.
Oops. My bad. Bamele rubs the back of his neck, his face regretful.
My apologies to the guide. I didn't mean it that way. I never knew about his... well, that.
Also, he's got 6 sleeves. I just now noticed that.
I do like. A smile spreads across my face, one I quickly wipe away. He really did just misspeak.
I love how we're justifying the fact that someone called somebody a bastard. It's like, we've got to clear the air immediately.
Immediately now. The silence slowly stretches between the three of us, growing more awkward with each passing second. Margaret seems irritated, and Bamele abashed. Oh. So, okay, do we want to talk to Margaret, Bamele, or neither? Bamele.
Bamele, obviously.
Okay.
Margaret's kind of a bitch.
Right, but also, like, we love a bitch, but not this time.
Yeah. And Bamele is really hot.
Yeah, that hair, man. I'm sure you are forgiven, Bamele.
I know you. You are brash but not intentionally cruel. I'm sure all is well.
She knows him.
She knows.
Bamele smiles and claps me on the back.
You're a good woman, Kika. Smart, too. You've never been here, yet you knew more of the guy than I did.
We're very learned.
We've had our adventures, I assume.
I know about Garvin, truthfully. Tales of his deeds were some of the only stories my parents ever told.
Oh, we've got parental trauma?
Is that so? You could tell me more about it sometime.
Oh, could we?
I pause, unsure how to respond to this type of request.
I would like that very much.
Oh, he's blushing. Brittany, he's blushing.
We've got a blush. It's so cute.
Yes, I wouldn't mind that.
Are we
It
blushing?
must wait until after this trip, though.
We might be blushing as well.
Of course. We should drop this topic sooner rather than later, in any case.
Fair.
I agree.
Great dialogue here.
We're just like observers to this relationship. It doesn't feel like it's us, but I'm just like,
What are they gonna do? Even if there's no harm meant, hearing someone mention Garvin is probably difficult for the guy, no matter the circumstance.
that's fair.
With the topic dropped, we each remain locked inside our own thoughts, not another word passing between us. Eventually, a small light appears on the bridge ahead, gently swaying through the foggy air. It gets closer and closer until it becomes apparent it's a figure carrying a lantern. That must be the guide, although I can't shake the ghostly aura it gives off. Listen, Chiron is just doing his best, okay?
The figure steps onto the shore, but we wait for him to approach us instead of going to meet him. None of us are sure how close to the waters we can get before it is no longer safe. Oh.
Oh!
He stops in front of us and simply stares. I mean, same.
Are you the guide of Sinlos?
The man nods. He has a sharp face and weary eyes.
Well, that's grand. We would like an escort across the lake.
Bamel motions to the two of us, and Margaret approaches, a strange smile on her face. I thought we were done with her.
I was gonna say, Margaret, don't steal this from us.
Hello, it's good to see you again. I'm ready to cross, as we've agreed upon.
The guide turns to face her as well, face remaining unchanged. It must not be a lie. He would have had to say something otherwise. She really does have preference to travel with him. That's a problem.
Is there a way we can all begin the trip tonight?
Yes, I will allow all three of you to go. But with that many, at least one will die before we reach the other side.
What the fuck?
Wait a minute!
I would simply not cross, my dude.
Hold up, wait a minute.
Are we about to be like, okay, fair?
Like, do we pick which one dies? I vote Margaret. I furrow my brow. It's it's a disturbing addendum, and one offered with little emotion attached. Bamele glares back, asking without asking what we're supposed to do with such circumstances.
We pass, my dude, Pamela. We say, we'll wait.
You
Or
should
we
go
can
around.
Kill Margaret.
Or we could go around.
I guess we could go
As
around.
the good guide says.
Maybe I just crave violence.
The sentence hangs in the air, the second half unspoken. If you want to live.
Oh, so one of us is gonna die if we don't go around. Okay, so maybe we should go around.
No, I think he means what he said. One of the three of us. So maybe we do have the potential to kill Margaret. Which I'm for.
Okay, as long as I'm not the only villain here. Brittany's
was
like, we should go
mean.
around. Brittany's just sitting here like, we should go around. We'll pass. And I'm just like, we kill Margaret.
Like, okay, so I am the mean one of the two of us, right? But, like, if someone told me straight up, like, hey, you want to cross this with this bitch? One of you is gonna die? I would simply not. I would remove myself from the situation. I'd be like, all right, I'll pass. So that's all I was saying. I would bow out.
Whereas I'm just like, murder the third wheel.
So...
We don't have time for that. There are people counting on us for protection. Why does she need to go?
Okay. He's asking the good questions.
He does have a fair point. He jerks the finger at Margaret, whose face contorts with anger. She mad.
I don't need to explain myself to you.
Actually,
My journey has already been put off once, and I was promised I could go today. I will be going under any circumstances.
even if you might die, my dude, just answer the question.
Yeah, it's not a hard question.
We
Why are you
gotta
wanting to
protect
go?
people.
A village is counting on us. The one that started with an H. I already forgot its name.
Yeah. She meets Bellamy's eyes with a gaze of steel. He starts to speak, and she cuts in.
An extra day or two shouldn't be that much of a problem for you. Whoever you're meeting can surely wait such a tiny amount longer. Patience is a virtue, after all.
Not if we're
People
saving.
are dying. There's a war.
Yeah. We're big, strong fighters.
The night is only so long, and if we're still on the bridges when the sun comes up, we'll all die as they sink back below the surface. If you don't decide soon, no one will be going.
But I thought going across the bridge cut the 4-day trip into a 2-day trip. What do you mean, if the sun comes up?
So we have to cross it at night. At night.
So what do we do if it's a 2-day trip? The daylight comes out eventually. Twice. 2 days.
We'll all die as they sink back below the surface. Alright. I mean, he's just laying out the facts. The guide is dispassionate, stoic. I would almost feel something's wrong with him if I didn't share the treat myself.
He's just hot and doesn't care. And that makes him extra sexy.
Familia pulls me to the side, jaw clenched tight.
That woman isn't armed.
You want to fight a woman, Familia? Come on.
His voice is low. He darts a glance at Margaret.
Let's not do murder.
We can easily get her to back off if we make this into an actual fight. After all, we have to go tonight, yes? If one of us really is to die, it'll be her. Would staying be a worse fate than her death?
Well, at least he's trying to just keep her from dying.
I stare at the dock, refusing to meet Familia's eyes, and try to keep my voice as level as possible.
We don't know her situation. This isn't a decision we can make for her.
What?
Familia leans in closer, apparently having missed what I said. I remove the sympathy for her in my response when I speak again.
The guide won't accept something like that, I assume.
Okay. His face is grim.
Then what else do you have in mind?
First of all, you and I cannot split up. Either we both stay, or we both go.
Okay.
Right. That's not a question.
I cross my arms, a hand on my chin. I have full confidence in my abilities and in Benelli's, but there's no reason not to believe the guide knows exactly what he's talking about. If we go, he might not be able to give the group the attention we each deserve. That would mean we truly would be putting Margaret's life at risk on top of our own. Say nothing or really we should go.
We should go.
And I believe you.
I don't like it.
That was stressful. I was not expecting that until Brittany started freaking out. I don't even think I realized it was time until Brittany was like, oh my god!
Timed things are my least favorite things in games. They stress me out.
It really is like a little hope when it was like, you have to pick your choice. And I'm like, I don't know.
I don't want to. Don't believe me, you sexy man.
But Melee's reply is firm. My steadfastness seems almost weak in comparison to its certainty. He addresses the guide.
We shouldn't waste more time. Let's shove off.
The guide slowly turns around without even a nod to show his agreement. Margaret stares at Bemelee and me, something of a resolve in her gaze. Then she follows after the guide. I mean, technically she could have heard what the guide said. Someone will die. Could have heard that, yeah, we're going. And she could have not gone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
she ultimately signed her to the death certificate today. Here.
I'm just saying. But I don't know why she needs to go so bad also either. So, like, yeah, okay. At least she didn't insist we stay behind.
We should do what we can to protect her. It's our fault she's being put in even further danger.
Exactly my thoughts. We will take care of everything.
You wanted to kill her a second
Maybe
ago.
I'm being naive,
He
but
just
I have
wanted
no
to keep her
intentions
from
of letting
going.
anyone fall victim to this lake tonight. Those monsters can starve.
He was literally ready to murder.
He was just ready to keep her from going by, like, threatening her.
Sure.
I smile at him for a change, and Bemelee eagerly smiles back. Ooh.
Eagerly.
Eagerly. Hello.
We're lucky to have each other in this, I think.
Oh.
He turns to follow the others across. I still don't like this.
Yeah, no,
bridge.
it's sketch for sure. It is not structurally sound.
I will protect everyone on this trip. I will. We will make it through this.
You have a lot of confidence.
Then I step onto the dock. Then I step onto the dock and join them. I got distracted
I
by
was
the
like, yeah.
achievement in the upper corner when usually it's in the bottom. Oh no. Oh no.
There's paths. There's multiple places we can go.
As soon as I step onto the wood, the temperature drops. That's not a good sign. The light of my lamp shines against the water's surface, as reflective as a mirror. Until we reach land again, death is only one small mistake away. We fall into line, with the guide leading the way. Margaret stays close to him, and I behind her, watching to make sure she doesn't slip on the slick, wet wood. Bemelee brings up the rear.
The people in the back always die first.
Each of us hold our lanterns in front of us, but it does little good. The fog is thick and nigh impenetrable, consuming the light as if hungry for it. Don't love that. Above the surface of the lake, it's deathly quiet. No longer is there the whispering wind, nor the sound of water lapping against the shore. It's just our own mismatched footsteps and the sound of my quickened breathing.
My eyes drift back to the lake against my better judgment. It's no wonder there's not even the sound of water with how still the surface is. It seems almost sturdy, with the sheen of a black marble floor. I've heard rumors the water of Sinlos is heavier, more difficult to disturb than natural water. That just the weight of its oppressive cling is enough to keep someone down. Even without them? What does that mean?
I don't like them.
A lot of the dialogue, I'm confused. I don't understand. Something even darker than the abyss of the lake flickers just below the surface, or at least I think it does. I turn my gaze to Margaret's back. It's better to stay focused.
Fall back a bit. You're following me too closely.
I disagree. You're the guide.
We need to stay close to you, sir.
The guide is looking over his soldier. The guide is looking over his shoulder.
Shoulder, Brittany. It's his shoulder.
I'm scared. The guy is looking over his shoulder, addressing Margaret.
I'm sorry.
If someone gets pulled into the lake, they'll instinctively reach for anything to hold on to. Do not let that be you.
What?
Margaret's shoulders rise, and she nods with great seriousness. Same.
I understand. Thank you for the advice.
He ignores her gratitude.
I kind of love him.
Yeah, he's cute.
You
I
can
don't like
speak
blondes,
amongst
but he's
yourselves if you so choose, as long as you pay attention to where you're going. There is no worth in listening to the sounds out there.
Okay, it's a little cryptic. Don't love that. I feel like you're very troubled, and maybe that's why I like you. You bastard.
He's just been through it.
If there's anything at all, it'll only be Nixie trying to set you on edge.
So I'm guessing Nixie is the monsters that live in the lake.
Yeah, and I'm gonna assume they're maybe like knocking, like mermaids.
Yeah, well, because like Nyx was, yeah.
Yeah, that's where my mind went, and I was like, okay, interesting. Because spooky and scary, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about the Nyx before on the podcast.
So
They were not exceptional.
they are not friendly. Typically.
All right. Then, could you tell us your name? You didn't have a chance to properly introduce yourself, and I've only heard you being referred to as the guide.
I don't have a name.
I was about to say, I was like, either he doesn't have a name or he's gonna say names are not important. Like,
Yeah, gotta get the mystery.
he's facing the front again, his voice as expressionless as before. I have no way of guessing how he feels as he says this.
I wanna fuck him.
Yep.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
I want to break down those walls instantly.
We can fix him. It's like when you like Shane on
Yeah.
Stardew Valley. It's like, we can fix him.
Every damaged guy ever, I zero in. It's probably not something he wishes to talk about. However, there was something else I wanted to say, so changing the subject is not difficult. Okay. I'm glad we had to think that out.
I love this dialogue. And the
Margaret.
monologues.
Thank you for allowing us to join you.
She shrugs non-committally.
It wasn't exactly up to me. The guide said he would take you.
That's fair. She would 100% not take us.
Yeah, she did not want us to come along. She hesitates, and then she looks tentatively over her shoulder at me.
Yeah, if shoulder is in the sentence, we just can't say it apparently.
My struggle was tentatively over.
I'm still blaming shoulder.
But
That was just
thank you
you.
for saying that. It's appreciated.
Okay, why are you being nice? Are you
Yeah.
scared?
When did this change come up? Also, I love how we haven't moved from this section.
There's just so many dogs.
Bemele and I will do our best to be an asset on this trip, rather than a burden.
That's nice. I'm not afraid to be out here, though. Still, at least with your training, you should be able to take care of yourselves.
Sounds like a threat. It's comforting to know that everyone here is so confident in their abilities. Not enough to forget how terrible it feels to be over this lake. I am not sure if that is fortunate or unfortunate. Believing yourself to be secure doesn't mean that you are.
True. Oh, I don't like that.
Suddenly, breath. As the conversation lulls, a new sound breaks through. It's the whispering noise again. It's the chatter of inhuman voices, and this time coming from all around us.
Ugh.
Taking
Gives me
care
the
of
ick.
yourself is exactly what you need to do.
Thank you. Like we didn't know. The guide is speaking again, except louder, as if to cover the Nixie's voices with his own.
Work to survive at all costs, and hope that everyone around you has enough sense to do the same. That's the only way you'll make it to the other side.
Margaret nods in response, but I hear a grunt from behind me.
Groups tend to go further when they work together to achieve the same goal.
Ah, he's a team player. The guide doesn't say anything in response to Bamele's grumbling either. I'm not sure whether he didn't hear Bamele or whether he just didn't feel the statements made thus far are worthy of addressing. I have a feeling it's the latter.
Well. We go around a large bend in the bridge, part of it forking off to another way.
We've moved down the bridge, finally.
I wonder how the guide knows which one of these essentially identical paths is correct when something in the corner of my eye catches my attention.
Ooh.
I believe I saw something over there.
Keep walking. No need to worry.
The guide's voice is calm and level. I decide against pressing the issue, not wanting to set everyone even more on edge.
What did he say?
Perhaps not wanting the conversation to be caught by the guide, he speaks softly, though I couldn't quite hear him because of it. I take my eyes off Margaret ahead for a moment to explain it. Okay. Honestly, I didn't see it at first.
I saw it immediately.
I was reading the text. So, something's happening.
What is that? Is that a Nixie? I don't like it. Why does it look like that?
I take my eyes off Margaret ahead for a moment to explain it to Bamele and stop dead in my tracks. Only one word is able to escape me in the stunned state. Is it Nixie? Because, Bamele, behind you, my dude.
Bamele, look behind you.
Behind.
Behind Bamele stands another figure, looming in the darkness. Seeing in my face, Bamele grabs the hilt of his sword. He whips around, then staggers swiftly backwards.
So he went...
Yes, essentially.
Several... Oh, okay, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Several meters away, a crooked, twisted black figure hobbles its way towards us. Some kind of liquid drips off its head, curling around the edges of its face. It almost looks like it's crying. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
We don't approve. Bamele backs up until he's standing beside me. The figure continues its slow advance, head jerking from one angle to another. I don't like that either.
I hate this. I hate every second of this. Everything. Oh my god, this is awful.
What on earth?
It's one of them.
Yes, Nixie that stumble across the bridges looking for opportunities.
The guy is just unbothered, moisturized. He's fine.
He's like, this happens, and I'm still perfect. The guide is standing next to us. I didn't even notice him approach.
He's like, oh, this is fine.
Casual.
The ones that can make it out of the water are generally referred to as prowlers.
I hate that term.
I don't, no.
I had no idea things like that were out here. Is that what Kika saw down the other path?
The guide says nothing, instead returning to the front of the party. Margaret watches him pass. Her frustration morphs into nervous optimism when something seems to come into her mind.
Well, Nixie aren't slowed down much by swords, but at least the light keeps them away, right?
Margaret's hand grips her face tight, and desperation bleeds into her voice. I bite the inside of my lip.
Direct light will force it to return to the lake. However, it'll try to drag the light, or you, down with it before it goes.
Oh, good.
I hate that. Thank you.
Oh, very good. This is exceptional.
Instinctively, I reach for the hilt of my sword, despite the fact that it would do little to protect me. The prowler is getting closer, jerking forward, stopping, then resuming its slow advance.
Okay, does anyone have a light we can leave here? That way it won't follow us.
I mean, you have a light, my girl.
Yeah, you literally have one.
Only matches.
You have a light, my dude.
What do you mean only matches? You're literally holding a lantern.
Everyone has a lantern. One of you put it down.
Bamele spits. Why? He's the one bringing up the rear, so he's the one most likely to be in danger if it keeps following. The guide, however, moves forward.
The guide said peace.
The guide gives no fucks whatsoever.
And like, I love that for him.
Don't forget it's
We
there.
gotta quit
Don't
saying
let your
fuck on
guard
the YouTube
down.
channel.
And don't get left behind.
We didn't get in trouble with Stardew Valley so far.
Oh,
So.
okay.
So he said, don't forget it's there, don't let your guard down, and don't get left behind.
Well,
Bitch!
that sounds easy enough, sir.
You're
but
just gonna keep on waddling away.
What? How am I supposed to keep walking with this thing at my heels? You said it wants to attack.
Fair question.
yeah,
Because
Bamele.
look behind you, Pamela. I hate it. I hate everything happening
And look
behind
at his panicked face. I just want him to be okay.
He's so tall. The Nixie, the Prowler, is so tall. I don't like it.
Don't give it the chance.
Well, great.
Easier said than done, my guy. Bamele sputters in anger, and the guide summarily ignores him. That's not how sentences work. Hello.
This might not be an English original game.
Oh, well, that makes more sense. But that's no. I solidly grab hold of Bamele's upper arm. I feel like they just threw adjectives in here and like
Solidly grab hold of her upper arm.
summarily ignores him. Or summarily, technically, but
It very well could not be originally an English game.
but they just like pulled adjectives out of a hat and were like, this is the one. And I'm like, no, it's not the one.
or translated this way, you know. It's fine. I've read a lot of really bad visual novels.
Hello, I am a word person and I don't agree with any of this.
Here, I'll lead you like this, and you can keep your focus solely on the Prowler. Make sure it doesn't get too close.
We have 3 lamps in this party. 4 lamps, because she's got one too. Everyone has a lamp. One of you put it down.
Right, literally, any of them can put it in a lamp. But what it seems like, okay, so she is holding him like this now. And and then she's like, so now you can look behind us. Keep your eyes on him. But she's just filling up the bicep the whole time now, is what is happening, I guess.
She's thirsty here.
Like, she's just like, let me cling to you. It's fine.
I'll just grab your arm. It's totally fine.
But I'm still gonna carry my lantern in the other arm. We don't need this.
This is not the time for flirting.
Right. Bamele eyes the guide with unresolved hostility, but allows himself to softly sigh in relief. He gazes at me with fondness. Stop.
Okay. Maybe
least
this
there's
is the
someone
time
I
for
can count
romance.
on.
Oh,
Really?
he counts on it. Look at that.
He's
smile.
like,
Oh.
stop. This is not, look behind you. Despite the fact I'm going against his advice, the guide says nothing more. It's clear now that he doesn't give a damn what we end up doing. Some part of me is glad for that.
I
Guide
love
gives no fucks.
0. He is just there to get whoever across that he can.
Honestly, he's just doing a job, and like
Yeah.
same with jobs that I hate.
It's almost like he signed a waiver, and it's like everyone had to sign a waiver. Like, if you die on the trip, the guide is not responsible, so he doesn't care. His job is to get from one side to the other.
Point A to point B.
Whoever makes it, it doesn't matter. I want to help everyone make it through, and it would be worse to have to persuade the guide every time help was necessary.
Kika,
So what are you
Thank you.
thinking?
I guess
Does she wanna-
grabbing the arm?
I was like, I don't know. I'm like, does she want to kill the guide? But that seems counterproductive.
We're gonna fucking kill the guy.
That seems highly counterproductive.
No, I guess she's just...
Doesn't want to argue with him?
We're gonna fight the Prowler? I don't know. Bemele places a gentle hand on my shoulder. Okay, so from my understanding, they're
So
like,
it's like
this lantern.
and this. Or is it like this? Are we doing it right?
Is this how you survive?
This is how you get across a haunted bridge.
The guide, are you watching? Do you approve of us?
Is this good?
Are we your favorite students? Okay.
This is so odd.
Don't understand what's happening. I don't like that this guy's
Yeah, it just hasn't
chilling.
gone away.
I don't like any of it, honestly.
We're 49 minutes into this recording and we still have not gotten anywhere.
Okay, let's go. We're gonna get serious.
No, I feel like this is just going to take this long.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay. Wait.
So we're like, no, so this hand, lanterns.
So what do you do with your lantern if you place, or what do I do with my lantern if I place?
I guess you just burn my hand off?
Am I just like, or am I like?
Or unless you move this one to like here.
Which one? What is a serious nod? Also, by the way,
Just.
we're done. I'm sorry. What do you want to do?
Yeah, I guess let's get freaky out here. Like, if we're gonna die, at least let's die fucking.
Let's place a hand. Oh, we got jingles.
Oh, I feel Bemele start as I guess like startle, as I reciprocate his touch, but just as quickly a smile replaces his shock. Oh, and
Okay.
he's blushing again?
So
Okay.
okay,
So he likes it.
shocked. Yeah. Okay.
The moment is pleasant, a small balm against a large burn. I harden my expression and Bemele follows suit.
Why?
What?
It was so nice. Why we gotta get serious?
I guess because that fucker's still right there.
I mean, that's true.
He moves his free arm down. Okay, wait. So how do we have a free arm? We don't have a free arm. So we're like this with your hand on top of, and we still have lanterns.
Unless it's like lantern hand shoulder, and then
Okay, he moves his free arm down. So I guess I drop my arm.
but I fully link his arm with mine, and now
So I guess we're going like this.
and now properly settled. We're gonna face forward.
This is not properly settled. This is the most awkward shit ever.
Also, okay, I wasn't around in the times where you just had swords. How is this a convenient walking position if you have a sword?
Yeah, because we're now linked arms with our hands still being held. Lanterns in the other arms, so we've got a sword on either our back or our hip with no easy access to grabbing it.
But, and like,
With the monster still right behind us.
no. This guy behind us, we don't fucking care. We're gonna look forward.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep letting him follow us, I guess.
It's fine. It's a free game. It's fine. Like, it's literally fine. We love it. It's great. Let's keep going. Margaret is following the guide with some reluctance.
At least someone is still on track.
Margaret, we talked shit before, but like, girl, you're doing it. Turning back every so often to check on us. Okay, so she's keeping up. I wave my lantern to signal. Okay, so I do have a lantern still.
Okay, so we both still have lanterns.
I wave my lantern to signal we're catching up. And
So-
also, we just bounced behind the guy. I don't understand.
So we are currently all twisted together. Margaret's looking back like, what the fuck's going on?
What
and
are
we're
you guys
just like
doing? And we're just hanging back here with like Tola McGee and just like vibing. It's literally fine. We're just trying to get laid while we're about to die, okay? Which is fair and tracks, but my god.
I mean, I guess if we're gonna die, we may as well sleep with him because he's fine. I kind of want to sleep with the guide though.
Right? Like, can we? Is this polygamy? Does it exist back then? Let's go.
It definitely existed back then. I just don't know if within this game if those parameters are set up.
Margaret turns her head to the front and quickens her pace.
She was like, I've seen it.
I've seen what I need to see, and like, I'm not impressed by you guys.
She's like, I'm done. Like, y'all do whatever y'all are doing back there, but I'm going with the guide.
And apparently we tug on Bemele, and then
So
we finally start to follow them.
so we're like linked like this with lanterns.
Is what happened. Only because Margaret looked at us.
We're like, oh shit, I guess we do have to
This
act
is serious.
somewhat professional.
Peace, man.
Yeah, Mr. Nixie behind us, like, sorry about it, but we're going forward now.
We're not making fun of the game, I promise. It's fine. We're just dumb.
The four of us continue cautiously over the bridges. I don't know that we're being cautious. I feel like we're being very lackadaisical right now. But only this time the wet, squishing footsteps, ew, of the Prowler join the sound of our own.
Why are we just letting this guy join our journey?
Like, kick him off the bridge. In spite of myself, I grip Bemele tighter. Okay, so
Great.
we're now...
She's just gripping him.
I don't know how possibly Kika can grip Bemele any tighter. But
Truly.
okay.
The Prowler walks without a set pattern. Great.
I love that.
Sometimes fast, sometimes slow.
Sometimes in a zigzag.
It takes long steps, then short ones. At times, it just stops walking entirely. And it's like, maybe it's done with us.
It's seen what we have to offer and it's not impressed. It's like, this isn't a challenge.
It's not the vibe. Does it hurt to be out of the water like this? Or is it trying to be difficult to read?
Or it might
Why
just-
are we questioning?
We're trying to sit here and like psychologically analyze the monster.
We're like, who is she? We're trying to like, can we fuck the Prowler? I don't know.
It's like, can we get the Prowler laid out on a couch? Like, we've got notepads. Like,
Can we romance the Prowler?
are you hurt to be out of the water? Or are you intentionally trying to make yourself unknown to us? Do you crave being mysterious? Do you not wish to be perceived?
Why are you so difficult? Can
Why
I fix you?
Why are you so mysterious?
I'd love to fix you.
Suddenly, the whispering in the lake grows louder. I still myself, trying not to let it get to me. Oh, we didn't get a whisper sound effect. The most important thing in a situation like this is to remain calm. I can't lose my head.
Fair.
Then all at once, I notice the guide and Margaret have come to a halt.
Bemele, they're stopping.
Why are we so far behind? Okay. Bemele slows down, as do I, and as we near Margaret's back, she says, with something akin to distress,
There's another one.
So we're now cornered. There's a Nixie in the back of us, and there's a Nixie in the front of us. Oh my god, we're gonna get spit roasted.
It's an orgy. I tug on Bemele, and he understands. Okay, I tug on him, and he understands. We draw up close to Margaret, ready to protect her if need be, but the guide holds out a hand. He's like, no.
Slow down, y'all.
Okay.
Don't get any closer.
To us or to them? Are you gonna be cool?
But what if the prowler? We still have a prowler behind us, so like they're gonna push us together.
But
at some
maybe,
point.
he's about to do something really like epic. Come on.
Just over his shoulder, I see another prowler stumbling towards us, white liquid dripping from its eyes. Ew!
Okay, so white, and then the black liquid from the other one.
Icky. The guide's hand turns over in the air, palm up, so he's out here like this. So he's got his lantern on a staff, and he's standing like this.
He's about to do some shit.
Give me a lantern. We'll throw it.
You have.
There's 4 lanterns.
Oh, do we have to? Oh, I bet. Do we have to pick who gives up a lantern?
Margaret.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, well, easy. Margaret extends her own with a trembling hand when Bemele speaks instead, his back still turned.
If you have to take someone's, take mine.
Bemele!
Yes, an extra light won't do us much good when we're standing this close together.
I mean,
That's true. Y'all are literally like this.
Y'all literally clutching. Margaret takes Bemele's lantern from him. Guarded relief displayed on her features. She's like,
She's like, thank God. At least
Thank
these
you.
2 horny fuckers that can get rid of 1 lantern.
She hands the lantern to the guide, whose hand grips it tightly, knuckles growing pale. Okay, so he's like real gripping it.
Yeah, so it's like, is he gripping it tightly because he doesn't want to drop it, or is he gripping it tightly because he's scared? Because we don't need you to be scared right now, guy. Because if you're gripping something that tightly, like, no. And you're about to throw it, there's no reason to hold it that hard, sir, unless you're scared, and in which is not great for us as a traveling party.
Stay here. I can't throw it too far. The light will blow out before it reaches the Nyx.
Oh, so he has to get closer. Oh, and the Nyx. So we are working with
So
like,
it's like mermaids.
except
like
they're like,
lore.
they're like zombie mermaids who can go on land.
I mean, the Nyx can. I talked about.
Well, I know they can shapeshift, but I didn't know they shapeshifted into whatever the fuck that is.
Well, I mean, they could shape. That was the thing. They could shapeshift into whatever the fuck they wanted. And this is maybe just this artist representation, because the Nyx, yeah, they're terrifying. And they
I
could
love
be,
how it's just like in
could-
the background, like with it.
they could be that hideous creature, or they could be like a beautiful woman. Like
Or it
that's
could
the
be
thing.
the guide.
The guide totally could be a Nyx, and like maybe that's a twist, but like we're too smart.
We figured out the game already. Congrats, we're
done. We just exit.
We're an hour in. It's game over. The guide is a Nyx.
Oh gosh, I know it's longer than I thought it would be.
Especially with how mysterious he is, and he doesn't have a name.
That's true.
We might have figured it out. Can we fuck the Nyx?
I would. He steps closer to the monster, his movements light and confident. As he nears, the prowler starts to back away. Is it only the approaching light that's making it retreat, or are they afraid of him?
Ooh. Maybe he's like king of the Nyx, and so like all the other Nyx like obey him.
Hot.
Yeah, that's very sexy.
The guide is far enough away from us that the fog is partially obscuring him, hiding his movements. The voices from the lake grow louder and louder. Water suddenly begins to splash across the lake, in the distance and onto the edges of the bridge.
That's not good, I don't think. I feel like that's bad.
They want him to mess up.
Oh.
Then, suddenly, the guide takes multiple long and fast strides forward, throws the lantern, and jumps backwards to regain the lost distance.
Oh, there's a sharp hiss and then a deep splash, and the voices of the Nixie grow quieter. Not silent, but quieter. Take one where you can. A sigh escapes me, and the guide comes back to our group.
We should keep going before it comes back.
Thank you, Bemele.
I glance at Bamele and realize he too is looking relieved at the guide before us.
Oh my god, can Bamele fuck the guy?
And then I see it.
Oh.
The first prowler. It's still there. It's right there because it was behind us the whole time.
Yeah, we still never got rid of that first prowler, even though we have 4 lanterns. Pull Bamele forward, I guess.
I shift around, pulling Bamele behind me. The prowler lurches after him, barely missing Bamele, but striking my lantern instead. The fire goes out, and the two of us are plunged into an unearthly darkness because he gave his lantern up.
But the guide and Margaret still have lanterns, and we are still clearly invisible distance of them.
I don't know, man.
So I guess we're both in darkness, just clinging to each other with no lanterns.
Yeah, okay.
And useless swords, because neither of us have pulled out a sword yet. Then there's a slick splash. Ooh. I realize the Nyx has retreated into the water. Somehow Bamele and I are still standing. We're still here. I don't like that. That seems sketchy. Why did it just go away?
It was like, okay, bye. Spooks, bye.
Kika, thank you.
Okay.
Why did thank you cut off? What's about to happen when you click right click? What's about to happen? Or left click, sorry. I can't respond. Something cold, wet, and slimy has grabbed my ankle.
Okay, here we go, guys. Kick it!
I kick my leg out as fast as I can, and the Nyx's hold slips. I can't pull with the momentum I've gained against it. Or it can't pull with the momentum I've gained against it. Margaret rushes to my side, her lantern hanging out towards the Nyx.
Margaret.
Oh, thanks, Margaret. The light brushes its face. We see it for an instant, its eyes wide, and then it slides back into the smooth surface of the water.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
I guess we lived.
Bellamy grabs Margaret and I both, helping us towards the center of the bridge and cussing under his breath.
Good.
I only looked away for 1 second.
Well, that's all it took.
It's fine, Bamele. We're all fine.
Are we?
Are you actually alright?
Oh, I just want to point out a little detail. When it showed our character, her lantern was out, which is, like, very good with the story. Yes.
Good visuals.
Yeah.
Margaret cocks her head down, examining my ankle, but there's nothing but a wet smudge around my trousers.
I am fine.
See?
Yeah.
It's out.
Good, very good.
Where it was in earlier. So, like, good detail.
I love how they're both just standing like either this and this. They're like, oh, we're so stressed.
Oh, woe is us.
I say that, though I don't actually want to let go of Bamele. So we're still holding on to each other.
We got sucked in. And we were like, no. That's why he's rubbing his shoulder the
Yeah,
whole time.
it's like, God, let go of me. I need to in order to relight our lantern and provide us actual safety. But I feel such a strong desire not to be alone in this moment. Oh my God, Bamele.
So she's horny.
Don't leave me alone.
I shake my head roughly and let go of him, relighting the lantern as fast as I'm able.
Kika, thank you. Again. You saved my life. I won't let this happen again.
Yes. Yes. It would be good for all of us to pay more attention.
Okay, and her lantern's back up.
Yes, yeah, good detail.
Margaret nods solemnly. Thank you for your contribution, Margaret. Suddenly, it seems like we're all on the same side. It isn't only Bamele and I. She is with us in more than simply presence. Okay. The guide's voice, as cold as that monster's grasp, ends my train of thought. She really hates this guide.
So they should fuck.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here, I'm like, we should fuck the guide.
Loving enemies to lovers.
Yes, it's a fantastic trope.
It's my favorite trope. Hello.
We lost the lantern I threw. The Nix grabbed it after the light went out.
Wasn't that the point of throwing the lantern? Like,
I was
we
gonna say,
all
don't
knew.
they dislike light, so why would it grab it?
But the way it seemed at the beginning is like anyone who threw a lantern, like if they tried to defeat the Nix with light, like they would use the light to drag the person down. But if you threw the lantern,
Yeah, okay.
so like it set up that they were going to take the lantern.
Sure.
And it's like, that's why we kept repeating, we have 4 lanterns. We have
We
ample,
have the goods.
we have ample material.
How big is this goddamn bridge? Margaret makes a noise. I glance over, wondering whether she's upset, but there's a small smile on her face instead.
Why?
It's better than them taking anything else.
Okay, sure.
I guess, but also I don't trust you. You're too pretty.
A nervous laugh bubbles up out of me. And just as quickly stops. I mean, that's our podcast. Every time we cover true crime.
Every time it's true crime, that's exactly what it sounds like.
But Melee chuckles in response, and our collective tension eases up, the adrenaline draining from our bodies. I mean, that's fair.
We need to keep walking.
Okay, whatever you say, baby.
Thank you, guys. That's great. Great guidance. Of course we need to keep walking, genius. The guide starts down the bridge again, and we join him. I try to clamp down on the relief, the ease that wants to flood my head. It's not over. The Prowler is gone, but so is Bemele's lantern.
You can stay near me, Bemele, since
Oh, I
your
bet he
lantern is
can.
lost.
Of course he can, girl.
Girl.
You still have not let
I
go of this
appreciate
man.
Right. He appreciates it. Margaret goes on ahead of us, but Melee stays by my side as I keep at the end of the line. The breath of release for Margaret and Bemele is quickly swallowed by the somber atmosphere as Sinlos as well, replaced by the gravity of the near-death experience. Never mind celebrating his survival. Something like that shouldn't have happened in the first place. The memory of the Prowlers reaching out towards us appears each time I close my eyes.
Why does it look like something's dripping down their faces?
The Prowlers are on Margaret's mind too. Looking at her pained expression, it's as though the moment of relief never existed at all.
I'm not sure.
Me neither. Something's wrong with them, though.
Sure.
Good, very good, Bemele. Thank you for your input, sir.
They live in water. Air shouldn't be good for the things, but they want to drown humans so much they're willing to drag themselves around on land? It's not right.
They're monsters. They don't exactly have like a strict moral code or like guide for survival. It's like, ooh, humans are food. We must do whatever we can to eat.
It's true.
Of course it isn't. They are monsters. They likely do not understand even the concept of right and wrong. Thank you, Kika.
Well, I don't disagree that there's something very wrong about them. I truly hope that's the last we'll see of the Prowlers.
I don't believe
It's
it.
probably not. Something comes to her mind, causing Margaret to end her part of the conversation early.
Since you two have to share a light, wouldn't it be safer to be in the middle?
Why do you want to be at the end?
Margaret, just give your light to one of us so you can still be safe in the middle.
Right? That would make the most sense.
Margaret stops and waits for Bemele and I to reach her position.
Also, how far apart are we walking from each other?
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, why aren't we all just in a group together?
Like, I would be riding someone's ass if I was scared of a monster lake.
Like, I know that we were kind of making fun of Bemele and Kika, but I genuinely would be like,
Hey, Fran, you're a guide. You do this all the time. All right, I'm gonna hold on to you. Right?
That way, you'll catch the edges of my light and the guides. And it won't be so dangerous if Bamele loses his position momentarily.
But I have a lantern.
Yeah, our lantern is fixed again.
Is it gonna...
That's a very kind offer, Margaret.
Is it? Because we have a lantern.
Pamela's surprise is so apparent, I want to cover his face with my hands to stop him from insulting her. She merely smirks. I think Margaret may be surprised with herself too. She's trying to fuck Pamela. Pamela returns to his usual surety.
As thoughtful as it is, I, at least, am fine with bringing up the rear. I'm used to keeping watch for monsters, and since there are two of us, I can pay attention to the back while Kika focuses ahead.
Sure. He's good with rear.
Yeah,
It's
he
not
is.
my light, though, so I shouldn't be the one to decide what she should do with it.
Okay, so we're gonna have to make a decision. Margaret and Bamele turn to look at me in unison. Seems like it's my decision. Okay.
I feel like we should stick with being at the back.
Neither of them are wrong. As for me, my goal is to protect everyone. I can't very well do that with Margaret following behind us, okay? But being stuck in the middle of the group could also be dangerous depending on what circumstances we come across. Getting pincered by the enemy would...
Since when did the monsters have like little pincers?
I don't know.
Since when were we dealing with scorpions?
Getting pincered by the enemy would be an almost sure death, no matter how experienced Melee and I are. I just don't know what to expect from this bridge, and that makes things so much more difficult, right? The current format has worked so far. I'd like to move up. Thank you.
Current format.
So you're staying behind?
I think so, yeah.
Seems like it.
Yes, I think we'll be good here. But really, thank you. That was a very kind offer.
Well, alright.
Margaret respects our decision and trots ahead a bit to catch back up with the guide. He who has paid no mind to the entire affair. That tracks.
That sounds about right.
So, I don't want to sound like a child, but how much longer until we arrive at the halfway point?
Margaret chuckles, reflecting the amusement I don't want to vocalize.
We still have some ways to go.
Damn.
I suppressed my laughter. We did not. Yet again at his pouting response. The gloom we've been under dissipates slightly, like light flickering through the fog.
The first trial tends to be the most difficult. I believe we will only react better from this point on.
The first try? What does she mean? Does she know something?
I feel like she knows something that we don't.
I like the way you think.
Hey, Bamele!
Look at that smile.
Watch
Stop it.
yourself!
Then a gleam enters Bamele's eyes, and he grins.
Stop that.
I think Kika deserves a round of applause. Her quick reflexes are owed the utmost appreciation.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, we deserve. He leans softly into my shoulder. So we're like this? So are we still like holding hands? Like, I'm still confused. He leans softly into my shoulder, trying to get me to... What?
Exactly.
Trying to get me to fuck.
It was indeed a sight. You're quite capable. Bemele was also a sight, but for very different reasons. The way he froze with his mouth all agape was a laugh in itself.
Yeah, get fucked. I'll protect you.
Bamele shakes a fist at Margaret in mock anger, then shoots me an affectionate look. Oh. Okay.
You should know, she and I are usually on equal footing.
The only reason you had footing at all is because she pulled you back.
Oh shit. Bamele laughs self-consciously, scratching his head.
That's very true. You can always count on Kika.
I keep my eyes steadily ahead, unsure how I should respond. I'm pleased, almost grateful to hear what they think of me, but I don't know what I could say that wouldn't seem pathetic. Just say thanks. Instead, I contribute the best way I can. I keep my focus on the path ahead of us. Without a response from me, the conversation quickly dies out. Still, it eases my heart to be on such friendly terms with my companions.
But you didn't talk to them.
Yeah, what friendly terms? You're about as mysterious as the guide.
Right. After some time, I notice Margaret isn't keeping up with the guide as much as she was before. I realize it's because the guide has increased his pace.
Oh, so he started walking faster.
Margaret begins to jog in an effort to keep up with him, and Bamela and I do the same. Despite this, the guide keeps getting further away.
Okay, I'm more convinced that he is the king of the Nyx, and that I feel like he is leading us to our doom.
We go faster and faster, until suddenly we're full on sprinting across the slick wooden boards. It tracks. Figures in the dark fog fly past us at a blur, and it occurs to me the branching paths and the bridge appear to be sinking?
Oh no.
I try hard to swallow my rising panic. The guide shouts something, but it's drowned out by the frantic pounding of our footsteps. Oh god. I'm trying to piece together what he said. Don't stop. Turn. When he takes a masterfully sharp right down a different path using his own momentum and the sleek wood to slide into the new direction with no loss of speed. Margaret must not have worked out the warning either, as she is completely caught off guard by the guard's changing course. She runs straight ahead, past the turn, and continues down the path we've been following up until now.
Uh-oh.
I didn't remember the path. Oh shit. She clumsily begins to halt her momentum down the wrong bridge. Then I come upon the fork. Oh god, I didn't remember the path. Do we turn or not?
Turn.
Okay. I make a hard turn, following the guide and leaving Margaret at the rear. So I think we could have saved Margaret if we didn't turn.
I was just trying to follow the path.
Okay, Margaret. I'm so sorry, babe.
Rip Margaret.
And leaving Margaret at the rear. Bellamy's footsteps stay as loud as they were before. He's made the turn, as close behind me as ever. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Margaret turn around to try to come back to us, only to have the bridge in front of her fall away. I slow down for a breath, feeling the impulse to turn back, but ignore it. There's no time. Margaret can make the jump, and then she'll rejoin us. I keep my eyes glued to the guide's back, ears perked from Margaret's footsteps approaching behind us. And then I hear it.